Hello everyone,
and welcome to
Guide to
Law
Law
Criminology.
Criminology,
And today's topic is
the Sumanto case.
Sumanto was born on March 3, 1972 in Purbalingga Regency. He is the eldest of 5 siblings. Each name is Mulyati, Karyono, Mariati, and Mulyanto. Sumanto studied elementary school at Plumutan 1 State Elementary School. His childhood friends often called Sumanto as Suman. These characteristics as a bad boy began to appear during this period, although he was still able to graduate from elementary school. His intention to enter SMP Negeri 1 Kemangkon was hindered because the pure Aptana score he achieved was insufficient. He was then accepted into the junior high school of his choice. His new school is 3 kilometers from home, forcing Sumanto to walk there and back every day. His activities after school are herding goats and looking for grass. This period was marked by economic difficulties that hit his family. This problem inevitably results in their household furniture being sold one by one to meet their living needs. Life goes on. Sumanto is known to have 2 ex-wives. He met his first wife, Sutrima, while working in Lampung. This marriage was relatively short due to domestic violence. A year after divorcing Sutrima, he began a relationship with a widow named Tugiem, a Lampung resident who also worked at the sugarcane company where Sumanto worked. They married in 1993 and were blessed with a daughter named Titis Wahyu Widianti. After remarrying, he rarely went home and only came back occasionally. Domestic violence often occurs, and this marriage ends in divorce. Living in poverty, Sumanto, who at that time lived alone in his hut, often imagined eating delicious food. This fantasy made Sumanto's mind even wilder, and who knows what prompted Sumanto when the announcement of the person who had died appeared and he had the thought of trying human flesh. Then, on Saturday, January 11, 2003, the news came that Bu Rina had died and would be buried in the public cemetery in Majatengah village. Hearing this information, that evening, Sumanto immediately reacted to dig up Bu Rina's grave. He managed to dig the grave alone at night using his both hands. The new grave soil was still very weak and still very easy to dig. And after getting what he was looking for, the body was then immediately put in a sack and transported using his bicycle to his house, which was about 1.7 kilometers away. After arriving, Sumanto put Bu Rina's body in the yard. Then, while sitting in the yard, Sumanto started cutting Bu Rina's body with a knife. The first thing Sumanto did was slice off Bu Rina's genitals. Then, cut off the shin bone of her leg and separated it from her body. Sumanto then cooked Bu Rina's thigh pieces, while the other body parts were then buried again. The next day, a resident passed by and saw Bu Rina's grave, which was messy. And after telling other residents, they then checked directly at the grave and found Bu Rina's body had disappeared. This news quickly spread to the community, which ultimately caused a stir among residents in Majatengah village. This information also eventually reached the police, namely the Purbalingga Resort Police headquarters. The police immediately carried out an investigation and asked local residents for information. Purbalingga Police Chief, namely Agus Sofyan Abadi, he said that there were residents who were suspicious of someone wearing a necklace that looked like pubic skin, who turned out to be Sumanto. From here, the investigation began to develop. Suspicions became stronger, with reports from residents emerging one by one. They admitted to smelling an unpleasant odor around Sumanto's house. The police quickly moved to arrest Sumanto in his hut, namely in Plumutan village. There was no need for an additional siege. Sumanto apparently didn't fight back at all. He looked normal, and he admitted that he was the one who took Mbok Rina's body. In the end, the police named Sumanto as a suspect. As a result of the interrogation, some of the cooked meat was even given to his father. Of course, at that time, the father didn't know that the meat was actually human flesh. Sumanto at that time said it was goat meat, and then the father quickly finished one portion. Another confession that makes people shudder is that Sumanto ate the meat raw, while the rest of the meat was also burned and fried by Sumanto. From further examination, Sumanto admitted that this was not the first corpse he had eaten. Two corpses had also been eaten by Sumanto. He didn't know who the corpse was. He did this when he was still working at PT Gunung Madu Plantation as a sugarcane cutter. On January 18, 2003, the reconstruction of the incident was then carried out. The police deliberately started very early, which is around 30 minutes past 6 o'clock. This was done to avoid an overflow of residents. However, apparently the residents were very enthusiastic to see. While the reconstruction was going on, suddenly some residents became very hysterical when Sumanto demonstrated how to eat and how Sumanto cut up the victim's body. At that time, the police actually still didn't believe that Sumanto had only eaten 3 people. It is possible that there are far more victims than they know, considering there are reports from the public who report that they have lost family members, including a missus who is known to often be with Sumanto, namely Miss Tam. Miss Tam was reported missing right after giving Sumanto a message. As a result of his actions, Sumanto was later sentenced to 5 years in prison. However, because he behaved well, Sumanto didn't serve his full sentence and was released from prison in 2006. After leaving prison, Sumanto then lived at the Environmental Rehabilitation Lodge in Bungkanet Village, Karanganyar district. Sumanto repeatedly tried to return to his hometown, but the residents always refused him.
Sekarang boleh pulang sudah. Kemarin kan tak pulangkan, sudah 5 kali tak pulangkan. Tapi rakyatnya ketakutan di sana. Terus perangkatnya ketakutan. Polseknya saja perempuan yang ngantar ke sini. Polseknya. Nggak mau Pak. Jadi rakyat sana jadi heboh. Rakyat sana jadi tidak tenang. Gelisah di sana Pak. Kurang damai di sana kalau Sumanto di sana. Ini kan Sumanto ingin pulang ke habitatnya. Sumanto seperti masyarakat biasa ingin pulang. Kenapa ditolak? Lah ya kesulitan saya yang punya rumah sakit kan. Bagaimana? Kembalikan ditolak mereka.
Lalu bagaimana? Apakah Sumanto akan terus di sini?
Lah di sana kemarin membuat surat rame-rame rakyatnya. Masalah monggo lo Mbah Pono, samatine Sumanto di situ, sematine.
Perhaps they were still traumatized, especially the victim's family. But actually now Sumanto has changed a lot. Sumanto is no longer the one who often eats human flesh. At that time, Sumanto had learned a lot about religion. He often recited the Quran and even participated in preaching outside the city, together with the late Kiai Haji Supondo. Even though there are still many shortcomings, at least Sumanto is willing to change. And in fact, there have been a lot of change in Sumanto.
What do you think about this case?
Well, personally, I find it very interesting because this is the first recorded criminal case of cannibalism that was reported in Indonesia. And because at the time there was not really any common knowledge about this, it was very strange how people approached it at first. As for the verdict and the judgment, I believe that the judgment and justice was served according to the laws at the time. Although when approached, if it was happening now, it would be very different. But I believe that his verdict was very justifiable according to laws at the time.
So this is not the first time Sumanto has done this act of cannibalism. When he worked in Lampung in 1988, he also ate 2 human bodies. For your information, Article 271 of the new criminal code that is inspired by the Sumanto case reads, everyone who unlawfully excavates or dismantles graves, takes, moves or transports bodies and or treats the bodies uncivilizedly is sentenced to a maximum imprisonment of 2 years or a maximum fine of category 3. This article is included in paragraph 9 on this disruption of funerals and bodies.
Well, that's it, folks.
Thank you for watching. We will see you on the next one.